Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas. Who, sir, are you?
I am the producer, Matthew J. Duncan. Fred, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I always forget about the J in your name. I think, does Naismith have Dr. James Naismith, right? Or, okay, you know what? I'm trying to make a connection here that does not exist.
Naismith.
Dr. James you know what? You're trying to make it a Baines thing. We are a hardcore basketball podcast.
We are.
We talk Raptors, NBA. We do silly questions at the end. It's really fun. We got two amazing guests this time. Ryan Henry from Below the Hardwood and Antony Hall from Ming's Dynasty.
Couple of wrestleheads, apparently.
The Hart family, the Montreal Screwjob. These are wrestling terms I'm throwing out there. The sharpshooter. Choke slam, you know what I mean? Dink and doink. I'm gonna throw out.
That's what I remember. I remember dink and doink.
I'm gonna throw out different wrestling terms, and the hardcores can pick up the breadcrumbs, you know. But yeah, we got some Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson content. It's really fun, and it's not all wrestling. It's actually all basketball, if you can believe it. But Matt, before we get too giddy here, if people want to help us, support us, there's the usual means, but people need to know where and how to do that. So why don't you let them know?
We've got a lot of great starting points to get the info that you want. You can go to dunkspodcast.com. That's our website. We've got all our links there. Remember when you used to skateboard and you had all those decals on the bottom of the board there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what our website's like. And you can click on those decals and they'll take you to our Instagram and our YouTube. It'll take you to the Sonar Network. If you want to check out our podcast network, we are on there. We're the #1 sports podcast. You got to click that and more button. Don't be afraid. Click the and more button and you'll see us pop right in there. And don't look down on the and more button because, it's like when you're downtown and, you got your shops up top. You got your Holt Renfrew and your HMV. And then you go down on the path. And, there's some stores down there on the path that you're passing by on the way to the subway. Mm-hmm. And that's where we are. We're beside, the body shop. We're beside the goddamn muffins and whatnot. On your way, a lot of good
value,
a lot of foot traffic, and a lot of good smells down there. Okay, so don't be afraid. Check us out, and if you could give us a rating, that would be fantastic, guys. When you do give us a rating, Freddie's hair grows another 2 inches longer. It's wild. It's halfway down his back right now. So if you could keep giving us some ratings, and we've got the link tree set up on our social media. So if you want to get a toque, I know it's starting to get a little bit warmer there. We're jet setting across spring, but bit of a thunderstorm today where I am. So you want to put a toque over those ears because also the fabric that we have in the toques, they do apparently minimize lightning strikes. That's just that's a new thing I found out about the toque technology. So just don't climb any trees in a lightning storm though, okay? Because no one can help you there. Yep. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Thanks for listening, and Freddie, I'll hand it back to you.
Matt DC Shukuza Deckles Duncan just coming through hard, as you do. Folks, don't take them too seriously with that lightning strike stuff. And if you do, don't come back at us. You know what I mean?
I should say
we're having a couple lightning-based laughs.
Sue us if you get hit by lightning wearing a Dunkstuke. Oh,
and
God.
I mean,
Michael and Mariana, I hope they got a good legal team.
yeah, they'll hook us up. But yeah, I think we're basically ready to get going here on the pod. And before we start, as always, I'll say, stop Asian hate, Black Lives Matter, defund the police, and email your city councilors. Okay, Matt, if you feel like we're ready to go, please, sir, just give me those sweet words. Okay. Okay, Lee Dokely. I don't know where I was going with that. It was kind of like a half committal Ned Flanders. But I am excited to get this pod rolling and bring on our guests, both returning guests. Who should I go with first? Okay, Mentally Chosen. He is an amazing improviser. He's a great comedian. He's one half of CBC's Ming's Dynasty. I don't know which of the Ball brothers he likes the most now, but I think he's a supporter of the whole family, LeVar included. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Antony Hall.
It's Leangelo.
Leangelo, baby.
Just kidding. It is Lonzo. I'm a Lonzo Ball stan, but of course, LaMelo is quickly surpassing him. And yes, always gonna love those balls.
I know. Yeah, I'm like, how do, like, every time I make that joke, I'm like, how do me and you just not accidentally transition into like a sweaty balls SNL bit that's like so hack? But I think we're good. We dodge it, you know?
Yeah. We're keeping it classy. I wanted to like get a picture for my background and be like, hey, Freddie, before we start, let me show you my balls. And I was gonna put a picture of all of them in the back. But...
Okay, I demand you do that. And for any listeners of the show that are good at animating, please edit Antony Hall into a family photo of the balls.
Yes.
I think he would like it, and I think also the Ball family would be like, oh yeah, we're big fans. Like, cheers.
Yeah. My last name is one letter away from being Ball, so like it's
you know what
close.
I mean?
It's close.
It's true.
Totally. Okay, let's bring on guest number 2. He's an amazing basketball analyst, a hardcore Mavs fan, but that's okay. He's also a Raptors fan. He runs his own basketball podcast, which I always forget the name versus the network of, but Below the Hardwood NBA podcast. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Ryan Henry.
Hey, yo. I love the theme music. Always come back here for the theme music. It's great.
Happy to have you back. You know, you deserve. I feel like I gave Antony a great intro, and your intro was like, you know, I landed the plane, but it was like I landed it in a forest, and we're kind of like,
we arrived.
Get out.
We arrived alive. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and you know, we won't talk too much Mavs, but I'm sure you'll slip in some stuff. It seems like they're going to arrive, fairly safely to the playoffs. No,
we're on a high right now, especially after demolishing Stephen Curry and the Warriors. So yes, things are looking up. Yeah,
always feels good to demolish Steph. Okay, let's. I don't know what. Yeah, take that, Steph. Boxing one. Let's start talking. A little boxing one joke. Hey, extra riffy here today. You know, let's get talking to some Raptors stuff. Maddie, I know you're there. I'm not even going to question it. Please, good sir, give me your most delicious, potentially Aaron Bainesy Raptors sting.
Raptors
Just a classic.
Here we are assembling. It's Jurassic Park.
That's right. I'm the Triceratops that has a sore tummy. Who are you guys?
I am the spitting dinosaur that like shoots poison out of its collar.
Oh, that's one of the coolest ones for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't the Power Rangers fight some sort of Triceratops or like some form of dinosaur back in the day? I'll be that guy. I don't know what it was called.
I
but they
don't
did.
remember. I just remember that the Breaking Bad guy was like somehow involved in the series.
What about Reptar from the Rugrats? That guy's pretty cool too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. That's the dinosaur.
I'm Angelica alone, so no worries. Okay, Antony, let's start with you. 10 games to go in the season, 10 games below 500, a puncher's chance at the 10th seed play-in. But I kind of want to focus on the next 4 games. People have been talking about it all season. This is an absolute gauntlet. You got the Nuggets, Jazz, Lakers, and Clippers. Will these 4 games be the final nail in the coffin of the Raptors season?
I don't want to be a pessimist, but I don't think that we're going to win these games. Like, there's a chance that I think we can beat the Lakers, but it's not looking good against the Nugs or the Jazz, just because I don't think, even though we have these new big men who we're very excited about, I don't think we match up super well against Jokic or Gobert. So it's not looking good, Freddie.
I agree. It is not looking good. I think, that Nets game kind of drove home for me. Like, it's cool to play good basketball and it's exciting and you want to see the good trends, but the reason you got to beat the bad teams is because it's harder to beat the good teams. Like, watching us lose in the 4th on the second night of a back-to-back to a team that had Kyrie and Durant, even though, it wasn't those 2 guys going off, like our scheme worked, but they have a deep team. Harris went off. And obviously that new Euro guy, Mike James, went off, which was a sight. Like, that was like weird, but
straight from CSKA Moscow coming in and wrecking the Raptors. Like,
I know that was, I felt like a very specific thing that happened, but yeah. Where are you at, Ryan, with these 4 games? Like, I think, I don't want to be like toxically optimistic, but there's a part of me that thinks we can squeak out 1 or 2 and that's enough to keep us alive. But I also feel like it's a fair place to call the season potentially. Yeah. Where are you at?
It can go both ways, but you got to look at who's in that 10th spot right now. And it's the Wizards. Not the most, stable team. They're very capable of losing games too. And
correct.
I've looked at their next 4 or 5 games. They got playoff teams. Like, they got the Lakers tonight, actually. So
okay. I thought they had an easy schedule for some reason. Maybe that's Chicago.
There's a couple of Cavs games in there, but they also got the Mavs, the Pacers, the Hawks. So they're facing playoff teams too.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it just really depends. Like, what's the status on Boucher? Is he coming back anytime soon, or are they?
I'm not sure. Like, I kind of heard that. Well, I mean, like, when I heard MCL sprain, part of me was like, I'd be surprised if he comes back at all.
Okay.
Usually, at least 2 weeks for an MCL sprain.
Okay, at least 2 weeks. Yeah,
2 weeks. So yeah, like, the Wizards don't have the easiest. I feel that they're capable of losing games. So I'm not going to say it's a wrap because, it's the Eastern Conference and anything can happen.
I think
really.
That's the perfect answer. Like, it's honestly, the Eastern Conference is so bad, it's never going to be a wrap.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is going to be true in subsequent years for other teams too. Like, if the 10th seed has a chance of making the playoffs in the East year out and year in, there's going to be some team that's like, wait a second, that team's 18 games below 500 and they still got a shot. Like,
right. it's ridiculous. So yeah, like, I'm not going to sail it in yet, but the injuries, like Gary Trent's out or didn't play last game. And Paul Watson, he had that amazing game and we haven't seen him. So, if we get a couple more guys back and Kyle's like, you know what? No, let's just do this. Let's run this. And we get some luck and Wizards lose a couple games, then you never know. So,
and of course there is a Wizards game, Raptors Wizards game. I think there's a Raptors Pacers game. It's also a Raptors Bulls game. Let's stick with you, Ryan, and just, just want to kind of, we talked about the bigs a little bit on the pod already, but I think that was like just upon arrival and we have seen some stuff. It varies with both of them, but You had the Birch. My goodness, like it's like our poor team is so starved for an actual big. Like this guy is just ripping down Reeves. Like I feel like the team didn't even know what to do with all their second chance opportunities. You know what I mean? They were like, "Whoa, an open three, like a wide open three off of a rebound. This is wild. I guess I'll miss it again." But no, I think though, like that is new, right? Like I think even with other good, like Serge and Mark are incredible bigs, but they brought a lot of different types of skills that weren't necessarily that. So yeah, and then obviously Freddie G, I think he's gone the whole double 10-day to 2-year contract, or I don't know how much of it is guaranteed, but that's impressive. But I think that's still kind of at like the Utah level where you're not exactly. It's like he's like an NBA player, so it's not quite the height of a rival that Boucher seems to be arriving at. But yeah, with all that said, like I always meander, but the question is, did the squad like how bad did this squad want big men, and who's benefiting the most?
I can't tell you the rebound stats that we had prior to getting these guys, but we beat the Nets in rebounding last night, even though we lost. So I love seeing rebounds. I love seeing offensive rebounds. I love seeing, actually, you know what? The most deflating thing in a game is seeing a team get offensive rebounds. And that's what a lot of teams were doing against us prior to that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, seeing these guys come in and clean that up a bit, that makes me like, it just feels a ton better. Even though we're not, winning games right now, it's just offensive rebounds can be the most detrimental, most deflating thing. And yeah, it's definitely improved. Ken Birch is great. Kyle's trying to get him paid. He's happy.
I love that.
I feel like this is the perfect situation for him, because what was he doing in Orlando prior? Like, was he doing much? Like,
no, he was basically waiting for Vucevic to leave and for Mo Bamba to develop, which never really happened.
Yeah, so like it's like the perfect win-win situation. He gets minutes, he gets plays, he gets like a team that actually wants him, and then you're just so close to home. So it's like it was just a perfect gathering. So it works, and I hope he's a part of the core going forward.
Yeah, me too.
I know in the off season we're probably still gonna look out for another big possibly.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad if he's the start or if he's the backup at this point.
Yeah, it seems like we'll probably try and position him as like a long-term backup for us.
Yeah.
I think he's 28, 29, so it kind of fits. I think the team is just delighted to see big man competence. Like we're not even in that game at all against Cleveland if Birch isn't ripping down all these extra possessions. And obviously there's the blocks and the obvious kind of like times where a guy defers and passes instead of driving, but there's so many times too when a big is really in the mix where guys just miss shots, or a guy like OG or Pascal can get out to the 3-point line a little bit better because they don't have to cover as much ground. But yeah, where are you at, Anthony? How nice is it to see bigs on the team, and who's benefiting the most?
Oh man, imagine, Freddie. Imagine if we had these guys all the year. Where would we be?
I can't even. That makes me like, yeah, that hurts.
It hurts a bit, but to me, it's such a refreshing sight to see guys get offensive rebounds. Oh my goodness. You guys were already talking about it, but yeah, I remember I was watching, I think, a game where they were playing against Orlando, and they just kept missing shots and not getting offensive rebounds and turning it over. And it was just so like hard to watch. And I was like, this team that they're playing against is not good. There's people like, who is it? Like, James Ennis is running around grabbing rebounds. I'm like, what? I'm like, please stop. Like, what's going on here, man? And just to see that these guys are hungry to get boards, that they run the floor pretty aggressively, that they can actually keep up in transition is like, is amazing. Cause like was watching highlights because admittedly I've missed the last couple games, but seeing Birch run alongside Kyle and in front of him, seeing Gillespie like hustle is something that we've missed from the bigs all year. Like obviously, like Boucher's amazing. We love Boucher, but like I don't think he has necessarily the strength or like the I don't know if it's more of just like the aggression that these guys have shown. Like Cam just really wants to be here, and I'm so happy that we have another Canadian, and he's just like he's so comfortable in the team space now, and we love him, right? Like as Canadians, we love to see a good Canadian boy hit the hardwood. Yeah, and I think Nick Nurse like believes in him a lot, and that's why he's getting the minutes that he's getting. And they work together on the Team Canada team, right? So I think he sees a lot coming from him, and like you guys said, like it would be so great to see him in a backup role next year or for the foreseeable future, as long as he can still hoop.
Yeah, man, it's all good things with Birch, and I think with Gillespie, there's more to come, but I definitely like I think you really hit on something good, which is the hustle and just like making a difference by, sometimes there's clunky plays or a foul here and there, but those guys, like there was one play where I saw Gillespie, he got up on a double team and then he got to the rim in time to kind of like just like alter the shot off of the backboard a little bit. And I was like, man, I haven't seen someone cover that kind of ground for the Raptors in a long time. And
they're setting hard screens too. Like watching Baines and then like the small sample from Len when he was here. Those guys like Baines plays hard, but like when I saw like Alex Len try to set a screen, he just kind of like stood there and like let the guy just walk past him. Whereas like I saw Gillespie stand up and take several hits just to get Kyle a little bit open. And I also like am loving that Kyle has somebody to chuck some alley-oops to get that money, baby.
Isn't that refreshing? Like actually throwing alley-oops. And I feel like there might have been even a couple like overeager alley-oops too. Like there's a couple times it was like, go up and get it, big fella. And it's like, okay. Like we're excited here. But okay, you know what? Let's get a little bit silly, I think. Matt, do you want to pop in here? Matty with his beautiful background, beautiful detailed background in the mix. Better than my, like, I got a ponytail, so I got like this weird frizz going on. Honestly, no regrets. Like we're in a pandemic, so I'm doing my best here, folks. Yeah. But I wanted to get a little bit silly. Flynn and Gillespie were initiated last week. They had to sing "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus. It was pretty funny and kind of got me thinking, what other type of like version of that would be fun to see? I'm thinking like, you have a couple Raptors, performing as the Strokes or whatever. I put that on you guys to kind of see what you could come up with. So let's go with you first, Antony. Like, who do you want to see sing? What are they singing?
Let's go. Hit it, Paulie.
I am very excited you asked this question because I really love that video.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't cue the amazing clip. Here we go. We gotta just watch this.
Yes.
Malachi was not into this at all.
No, he's a shy boy. He's not a party animal like Gillespie.
Okay, Freddie Gillespie's starting to take over.
I love Gary Trent with that heavyweight belt.
Gillespie knows.
He knows it. He knows it.
They both low-key know it.
It gets so hype here. Just absolute meltdown. Like,
then there's just Malachi in the background wishing
I
some gold.
Yeah.
how live, like, how hype this got. Okay,
He was
well,
waiting for
anyone
that.
Kyle.
who's just listening, if that was an audio-styled nightmare for you, just know that we were watching the Raptors sing "Party in the USA" and also talking over it, and it was my first time seeing it, so lots of surprise, lots of laughs. Check it out; it's a funny video. Matt, thank you. We talked about, this is the first on the pod, a live clip. We talked about it before the pod. I said, Matt, no worries. I got you. I'll cue it up. I, just closed my eyes and walked into a dark tunnel, and the train came and saved me.
Yeah.
Honestly, my analogy fell apart, but you guys get me. So, yeah, okay. Matt, thank you. Anthony, I gave you a little bit more time to prepare. So what's up? What do you got for me?
I am so excited to share this fantasy of mine. I think we open on Open Gym. The Raptors are just wrapping up practice, and we hear over the intercom the single from the album One Heart, 2003, Celine Dion.
Oh,
I
Celine's
drove
in the mix.
all night, and boom, Kyle Lowry hands Kem Birch a sheet of lyrics, hands Chris Boucher a sheet of lyrics, and the two of them sing together I Drove All Night by Celine Dion. And you saw how hype Boucher got there. He's probably pretending to hold a steering wheel. He's got the piece of paper. He's probably doing this. They're probably doing this. They're pretending to take their sunglasses off. My God, how hype would that be? That's a great song. That's a banging tune.
Okay, Celine type. That song's great. The two Canadians would destroy that.
Yes,
And I feel like they would also wear like Celine Met Gala stuff. Like they'd be like extra fashionable.
Oh, yes. And it's just the block, the block Rebecois is what I'll call them now. They doing their job.
That's delicious. Thank you. I don't think anyone's going to top that. It's definitely better than mine. Ryan, I'm going to go to you. What's up? Do you have anything better than two French Canadians like digging in on "I Drive All Night"? I mean, it's a hype song.
When I first read this question, I was like, you know what? Let's get like 4 or 5 of these guys up, not just 2. And I'm going to get these guys on strings and doing the NSYNC "Bye Bye Bye" music video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Whoa.
And you got Nick Nurse controlling the strings, and it's Kyle, and it's
Oh,
OG,
wow.
and it's Freddie, and Pascal, and then let's throw in our new big Kem Birch, and I just get them on the strings singing "Bye Bye Bye" in a classic boy band style music video.
Huge.
Yeah.
Honestly, shouts to Birch making both squads so far. Everyone's like, trust me, if you knew Birch, like he can sing in all styles, all forms. Matt, I don't know if you're like cramming your brain right now to try and fit Birch into your scenario. If he doesn't fit, if he's not in there, that's okay. What's your song and who's singing it?
Look, I just went with what came to my head with the first thought that I had. Now there's 2 players. Now the first one, it just feels like Aaron Baines doing like the Chumbawamba song.
Okay, I knew
It really ties together well.
I should have just imagined you were going to say Aaron Baines' Australian national anthem. Like I should have just assumed. You're like, I tried to tell you.
But yeah, I think for some reason, Chumbo, he does get knocked down, but he does get back up again. You have to give the big fella that. So I can see that. But the first thought I had for some reason is OG, and he's just looking into a mirror, putting on clown makeup to Tom Waits's like Downtown Train.
Okay, that's good. I know it probably seems bizarre, but anyone that's seen OG wish Danny Green a happy birthday, the OG's got a taste for the bizarre, because that Snapchat video was all sorts of weird. He had a safari hat, there was a sun glare in there, and everyone was like, where is OG? This is strange. So yeah, OG Tom Waits.
I see you tonight?
Oh yeah, and I always got to shout out friend of the pod, Adam Christie. Best description of Tom Waits' music is like a haunted ship filled with ghosts. That's his description of his voice. I'm butchering his joke, but fellas, all incredible answers. I almost called an audible on mine, but I'm also just gonna like go with my go-to. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mine is also a boy band. It's Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
Backstreet's Back.
Oh.
And the crappy part about my answer is I don't remember all of the Backstreet Boys costumes. I just remember there was one werewolf.
There's a mummy.
But okay, for me, the werewolf's Flynn. I was trying to get the young guys in it, right? Because I'm in my mind, it's like this is like a party zone. Sorry, Kyle, Baines, you guys are like maybe directing the video or whatever.
There's like a phantom.
Phantom. Okay, Phantom. I remembered that was Gary Trent.
Yeah.
I wanted the mummy to be Chris Boucher. Sorry, Boucher. I wasn't, I'm just trying to say anything, but like, I just think you'd be the good mummy. And then I forget. So those are the three I remember. And there's two other Halloween costumes, but I picked also young guys. I threw in OG. And the last guy I threw in was Gillespie. So mine isn't as good because I couldn't remember what. Okay. Can anyone else remember the two other Halloween costumes?
I can't.
Let's see.
Can't say it's at the top of my mind here.
Okay, this is top level podcasting, folks. When you don't properly research your own question, but also it's because your brain pivots in a weird direction. Like, I thought I knew Backstreet Boys, but I guess I only know them a little bit.
Okay, Fred, I got it. You got the Wolfman. You've got the Phantom. You've got
Wolfman,
one's
Mummy,
like just
Phantom.
like one's like Two-Face or something. Like he's got.
Oh, that's why I didn't
Jekyll
remember.
and Hyde.
his
Is it
face.
Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah.
That's a crappy one.
And then I don't know. I think Howie D is just like
He's just Howie D.
He's just like I
Scary
don't know
enough.
if he's like steampunk or what. He's just got a top hat and he's got long hair. Maybe Dracula. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howie D's like, I'm the bad guy from Wild Wild West. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Lovelace. All right, don't worry
Yeah.
about me. Mechanical spider and all.
Wow.
Okay, guys. Well, I think we're good and done here. Maybe it's a good time to move on to some NBA talk. Okay, Maddie, why don't you give me that delicious whatever NBA Adam Silvery foghorn sounding sting you got?
This is Adam Silver.
Bow, bow. Meow. Okay, let's go to you first, Ryan, on this one. And this is kind of I'm trying to get to something here with this question. Not necessarily, I don't care as much if you believe in these particular teams, but I think this has been a weird year for a lot of reasons. And yes, the Clippers can still get the 2nd seed or the 2 seed. Seems like they're pretty close. I think the Clippers can still actually get the number 1 seed. But, for a while, it's been Phoenix and it's been Utah. And there hasn't been a lot of talk about them being legit contenders, which is kind of weird to me. I feel like, if it was the 2 LAs at the top, the narrative all season would be like, who can beat them?
Yeah.
And, I guess you got to prove yourself in the playoffs sort of thing. So maybe that's part of it. But yeah, when you think about Utah and you think about Phoenix, do you think it's more likely, pick one team at a time, that one of those teams will get upset in the first round or make it to the finals? And I think it's an interesting question because I want to see how much you believe in the teams. They could be going up against like G State, San Antonio, like a really good team.
So with the West, like it's wild. Like the West it's always been a place where I want to say upsets can happen, but all 8 teams are going to be lethal. Like I'm looking at Memphis right now, and in that play-in tournament, that's the last team I want to face John Morant and Triple J, like these guys play hard. So
And
if
Triple J
you're-
just got healthy, right?
he just came back. Yeah,
just
he's
came
been
back. That's good timing.
and they knocked off Portland twice. So and they got the third and final game coming up. So it's like I could see them giving a run to either Phoenix or Utah, just like out of shock, out of sure will, and the fact that these guys are all young guys. You know, I'm going to go back and yes, I'm going to mention some Maverick moments when the Golden State Warriors knocked off my Mavs, the 8th seed and the 1 seed. So it's like you find that young team that's just hitting their stride, and yeah, like I feel like Utah could easily get knocked out by shock, by surprise. So yeah, I'm going to say that either both teams could actually, I would find more likely to be upset than go to the finals.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And for you to slip in a Mavs reference and for it to be about the We Believe Warriors is a testament to your, you've been through some stuff. So, you know, there's some adjacent stuff with Mavs Raptors. Like, I feel like, yeah, you know, almost more so than other franchises, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antony, I think I'm largely on Ryan's side. You know, I love Chris Paul. I think Phoenix is legit. I think they're awesome. Do I think that Phoenix is like, oh yeah, for sure that team is going to the finals? I don't know. Like, I don't know if I think Phoenix could beat the Clippers or the Lakers in the second round, or, you know, whomever. And the Jazz I'm a bit more confident in, but you know, obviously Mitchell, it's a very serious injury. So like, what's he going to be like? And Gobert in the playoffs. Yeah. So what's your belief level?
I want to believe in Utah because they've been playing pretty exceptional basketball all across the regular season here. And I had Mike Conley on my fantasy team this year, and he balled out for me. He was a very late pick for me, and he has crushed it. Like the last couple games that I've watched that he's played, he's got like double-digit assists. He's making threes, and he's always been a pretty I say like feisty defender as well. And so I was like, I really believed in Utah. But when Donovan Mitchell got injured, I was like, I don't know. I really don't know about it because I don't know that they have like a number one scorer type guy outside of him, and like I don't know that can be replaced by like just like Jeremy Clarkson getting lucky and making all of his shots or whatnot. Like he's might be six man of the year, but like I don't know that wins you the playoff round. And with Phoenix, they're also really, really good. They are the real deal, but I struggle to latch onto them to go really far because of just the inconsistencies of Donovan Mitchell's play. Like he can be or not Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker.
Right. Well, yeah, him and Aiden, it's going to be their first playoffs.
Yeah. Sorry. And they can be world beaters, right? Like they can like absolutely take over games, especially with Chris Paul at the helm, being smart and distributing the ball and getting them open for shots. But yeah, the experience, it's not there. And I am really quite worried about them. So I'm with you guys. Like it is quite high in probability that they get upset in the first round as opposed to make it to the finals.
I love that your last part, like, I'm quite worried about them. It kind of like simmered down a bit where you were just like their parent. And you're like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, I know we're talking stats here, but like, I'm pretty worried about them.
I'm proud, but I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm proud of what they've done, but I'm also pretty worried, Freddie. Like,
I just don't want them to get hurt by Grayson Allen dropping threes and like Xavier Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr. Oh,
yeah, Phoenix it's a city in the middle of a desert. Just seems unnatural, you know?
What's their arena called? The Talking Stick Arena? Is it still called that?
I do believe it is, yes.
No good comes from the Talking Stick Arena.
Hey man, they're hey, Robert Sarver, he's notoriously one of the worst owners. So I think Phoenix better enjoy this year. Like I mean, it's looking pretty good though. So if I was a Phoenix fan, I'd be excited about the future, especially after they did so well in the bubble. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with both of you guys. Like I think that I'm still on the line of like healthiest team wins. Like I think that's going to be who wins the NBA championship this year. I don't think there's any team that can sustain like significant injuries to their main guys
Yeah.
and still make it the whole way. But
I have a question though. Like,
hit me.
are a lot of the NBA teams, like, are there guys getting vaccinated? Like, is that a thing? Like, I haven't heard any news about it or anything. Like, America's got vaccines like crazy, right? So like, logically, you'd think that like teams who are heavily invested in the playoffs or in a deep playoff run might be trying to get their guys vaccinated so that they don't miss games.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I feel like it was a topic a couple months ago, and people were like, "Oh, are they going to get it first? Like, what's the ethics sort of thing?" But yeah, now that so much of the general population has access to the vaccine, it's weird that we haven't heard like, "Oh, FYI, like all of the Mavs are vaccinated now," or FYI, like I wonder if it falls under the category of like, I'm just like totally guessing here, if it falls under the category of personal health. So they can't forcibly disclose it, similar to, when they say blank is under COVID protocol, you can kind of take a guess if they've had COVID based on the timing. But at the end of the day, you can't, like, a player doesn't have to tell you if they had COVID or not. So I wonder if it's similar for a vaccine.
Yeah. I know there's guys who were pretty aggressively against it just due to political reasons and their beliefs.
Oh dear, yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. Allegedly.
Yeah, that's no good.
And it's like I want to know. Like, I think it's information that I think teams should like disclose maybe with each other, like if their players have been vaccinated and whether or not they're going buck wild, going to partying and opening expensive suitcases of champagne and such like things.
Totally. The last thing anyone needs is a suitcase filled to the brim with champagne being slowly opened like The Shining. Sorry, I just, as soon as you said fancy suitcases full of champagne, I immediately thought like loose champagne in a suitcase.
Yeah. Not in bottles, just a loose liquid.
So the teams might not be like all getting vaccinated, but the Bucks are actually doing something kind of cool. It got reported that they're going to give 16 and older fans in-game vaccine shots.
Whoa!
So are they going to drop down like the little parachutes?
It's going to be weird. It's like, you do imagine, it's like, hey, you get a vaccine shot, and you get it. It's like falling from the sky. But
that's a cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a strong PR recovery moment from their sanitation, like their hand sanitizer gig that they did with the Titantron or the video thing where it's just spraying hand sanitizer on people, and it did not look like hand sanitizer. Let me tell you.
Oh my
God! People were like, yeah.
Honestly, shout out the Bucks, because they also did one of my favorite in-game things I've ever seen, which was they showed people eating food and drinking beer backwards, and it was one of the most disgusting things you could ever imagine. And the fans didn't really know they were like a part of the gig. Like, if you YouTube it, it's full Tim and Eric. You're like, these poor people, no one deserves this. Like this guy, like you see a hot dog exit his mouth in like 3 bites. Trust me, nobody needs that. Okay, guys. Well, I feel like we've made it to my final NBA question here. This is kind of a weird one as well. I think there's a lot of cases. I'll start with you, Antony. Who do you think is the coach of the year so far?
I'm gonna have to go maybe with the third best option, but I'm just passionate about this because I think the NBA is better when this team is good, and that would be Tibbs and the Knicks.
Hey, I was thinking about them.
Yeah, he deserves it. I think like the way he's programmed his rotation has been really beneficial to the growth of a lot of players, especially Julius Randle. Like that guy. I helped a buddy draft a fantasy team, and I was like, you want to take Randall, man. I'm not going to take him, but you should, because he's going to be good. And I was right. I should have taken him as well. And I think like it really has helped RJ as well, because like we're seeing a lot of offensive options in New York. And I just think like, when the Knicks are good, the NBA is so much more exciting. and we have to find more sad teams to rag on. So like it diversifies people watching more teams and also finding more jokes against the other teams.
Yeah, and the Knicks, they've suffered for a long time, and I think in the end, I'm not all the way on Tibbs because I don't want to like over reward, bringing a team to like a competent level, but just to like, I'm not trying to undermine your choice because I think it is good because the guys you mentioned, of course, but then there's also like Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel, and like these guys like are not they've moved beyond being like okay, and he's taken so many role player type guys and he's made them real players, and they like that Raptors game where we just lost to the Knicks. That for me was one of the better Raptors games. I thought the Knicks played well and they played very hard. And I think there was that interim period at the beginning of the year where there was a lot of like, are the Knicks for real? And now it's kind of like, yeah, they're for real. And that's a pretty big leap. Where are you at, Ryan? Is Tibbs your guy?
I hate piggybacking, but yeah. It is Tibbs, man. Like I remember jumping on pods at the beginning of the season and just trashing the Knicks franchise, just saying as long as what's his name's the boss, James Dolan's the boss, this team's not doing anything. And yeah, they just flipped the script on me. And yeah, like they got a lot of talented players. I feel like that Derrick Rose pickup helped them a lot. Julius Randle just becoming this like, to be honest, if he doesn't make at least the third All-NBA team, I'd be upset because his play is ridiculous. What he's able to do, facilitate, score, defend. I look at him and I'm like, the name doesn't scream out like, all NBA, but it's like, then I look at the stats and I just look at some of the games that I've watched him do, the Raptors game. I don't watch the Knicks religiously. I only watch when they're really facing my team, but just to take that franchise where it was and just be where it is. And he got them playing defense. Like I just remember the Knicks last year. It's like, they weren't doing this. They were not doing this at all. And their team isn't that much different from what it was last year, aside from, a couple of pickups. So
totally.
You got to look at the coach. You got to look at Tibbs and yeah, just wow. Like the defense, the energy, the fight that they have. So I'm going to ride with Tibbs on Coach of the Year for sure.
Yeah, man. And like, just to piggyback on your Randall love, just looking at his stats, like, man, he's 24 and 10 with 6 assists and a steal on really good percentages. And like the guy can play D too. Mm-hmm. So, it reminds me a lot of Pascal's breakout year last year, but even better.
Yeah.
And also with a bit more composure, I think. Yeah, I mean, he is someone who I was saying on my friend Catherine Niker's pod, Buckets and Tea. He is someone who I am so excited to see in the playoffs because you saw with a guy like Luka last year. Things change when you're game plan for, and Luka proved to everyone that he's beyond a game plan. But that's also kind of what you're looking for with these super special players. And I'm not saying Randall's going to for sure not be beyond the game plan, but I am saying that it's really hard and teams can game plan for you very well. And so you see what Luka did, and you're kind of like, oh wow, that is a very extra special thing that doesn't even happen usually with other stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kind of turning it back to mine. I think Tibbs is a great one. I got Monty Williams. For me, it was between Monty Williams and Quinn Snyder. And I know it's kind of just, there's a regular season aspect to this, but I think both of those guys have just done such an incredible job of preparing their teams for what this season is and managing it. And I think for Phoenix, Chris Paul will get a ton of the love that Monty Williams should also get. But to me, that's not fully fair. I think what I always look for like a top level coach is how do you work with your top stars, your superstars? How do you make them thrive? And to me, like it's never just a LeBron James that does it. That's why I'm a big Ty Lue defender. Like I think part of being the coach is being the like maestro of the personalities. Man, even Frank Vogel last year, I thought he did a really good job of kind of like massaging, the Davis center scenario, like just, a big part of being the top level. And I almost chose Steve Nash for this, but I think Brooklyn to me is bordering on just a bit too much talent.
I think Kyrie would disagree
credit. There's that too, right? Like, and also it's weird too. I don't want to take points away from Nash, but like having D'Antoni as like your assistant is like, wait, what?
It's not fair.
But hey,
no.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, other top like head coaches have been, are on teams as well, and just like we just forget about them. So.
I think the bubble proved you right, actually, because Chris Paul wasn't in the bubble, and the Suns went 8-0.
There you go
with Monty. So it was there. He was coaching before Chris Paul.
Ooh,
so
Ryan's got my back. Ryan, you have my back like I don't have Matt's back, who asked me to prep just a single clip once, very politely too. And I, but I think we've arrived at our final segment, guys. Quickish questions. What's up? You ready to do some quickish questions?
Get it.
Let's do it.
All right, Maddie, give me some quickish questions. Sting.
Quickish questions.
Okay, we have arrived at my world famous segment, Quickish Questions. I can hear you all at home going absolutely wild. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm going to get through these questions as clearly and concisely as possible. I'm probably going to stutter, slur, get confused, misread a comma.
Fair.
That's okay. You guys have to answer as fast as humanly possible. No stalling. You can't phone a friend. No side points, no questions back at me, certainly. I need you to answer as quick as you possibly can. That's the name of the game. Well, actually, it's called Quickish Questions, but the point of it is to answer as fast as you can. Okay. Maddie, hit me. We'll do Ryan, Antony, Matt. Ryan.
Yep.
Whose development have you been most impressed with overall? Fred, Siakam, or OG?
OG, 100%. I think he's in a top 10 defensive player of the year list this year. His defense has been phenomenal, so I'm definitely going OG. The offense, they were talking about it last night, as that shot over Durant with the 1 foot. Oh man, OG is looking like his development. He's going to be a second or third, guaranteed at least second option for us at some point.
Woo!
Yeah,
Antony. Is the long-term success of the Raptors ultimately dependent on the Nurse Siakam relationship?
I don't think so. I think that's just a small portion of it. Like, there have been superstar players that don't necessarily agree with their coaches before. So, like, and I don't even think that what they had a disagreement on was that much of a thing to consider in terms of, like, future growth of the two of them. So,
very fair, and I like the sound effect. Maddie.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'll spare you just this one time. Which NBA biopic do we need right now?
Which NBA biopic? I think that, boy, would be a good one. I feel like a Wilt Chamberlain one.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Chuck Hayes for sure, but yeah, Wilt Chamberlain.
Can I jump in on this one? This is a very exciting question for me.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think that they should do, the Safdie brothers should direct a Dennis Rodman biopic about the weekend trip to Las Vegas.
Oh
wow. Oh my God.
That's
That would
good.
be
Featuring
amazing.
Carmen Electra.
Exactly. Carmen
Wow.
Electra needs work right now. The Safdie brothers, it's basically, it's
Buddy.
uncut gems on crack. Like, it would
Yeah.
be beautiful.
Hey, Safdies, you listening? Okay, Ryan. Divide the podcast into NBA Jam type duos and give both teams an overall rating. So this is a bit of a yeah. Are you following that question?
So, like, of the
There's
4
4
people
of us.
in, yeah.
There's 4
Okay.
of us, so just pick 2 teams at random and give us both ratings. I guess you got to rate yourself.
Ratings, like, am I saying like a specific?
Like if it's me and you, is it Dunk City or like, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. All right. That's oh man.
Hey man,
Okay. Well,
man, it hurt some feelings. It's okay.
we'll go with Maddie and Freddie. You guys are going to the home team. Me and Anthony will be
Love
the
it.
away team. And if we're going with ratings, no, you know what? No. Scratch that. It's me and Freddie,
Ooh.
and I'm giving Freddie the oops. So our oop rating is like through the roof. I'm giving you the oops. There we
Wait,
go.
is oops like you fall down or like?
alley oop.
Alley-oop.
Oh no, okay. So
Alley-oop.
oops
The
is like
assistant.
flubber. Okay.
The assistant. Yes, I'm throwing you the oop and you're slamming it through.
Amazing. Got my flubber reference in too. Beautiful. Anthony. Where are we here? Oh yeah. Who from Dexter? Who is the next NBA player to win an Oscar?
Oh my goodness. What a question. I think the next NBA
You like
player.
Safdie brothers? You
Yeah.
guys.
I guess is it current NBA player or past NBA player?
It's up to you.
Because I think Kevin Garnett's got chops.
He does.
He's got real chops, and I think he can act in a dramatic film. But if it's just like anybody to get a movie award, probably Blake Griffin. I mean, I roasted him enough the last episode I was on that I think I deserve to give him some props for his acting and charisma.
Yeah, and I think that episode is nominated for an Oscar, so he might win. There.
Yeah.
Okay, Maddie.
Yes.
How good are we if everyone's healthy?
How good are we? I think we are. We're at the top level of the play-in. Let's put it that way. We're 7 or 8.
Love it. Ryan, the new players, Flynn and Gillespie, are asked to sing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. Is this a hint that the Raptors organization will be moving to the USA? Is this a rumor I should be stressed about?
Oh man. You know what?
I need
The
you to
NBA
calm this fan down.
The NBA does want all 30 teams with full capacity. I don't know if that's happening in Toronto. So I think we might have to start worrying a bit.
Uh-oh.
I do not see us being full capacity in Scotiabank. So maybe Tampa is trying to, they're trying to, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to steal
They're trying to expand the Bay.
Yeah, they're trying to steal the
no.
Raptors.
It's not okay.
No.
Okay, Anthony. Without any research, who is the chef in the NBA?
Who is the chef in the NBA?
That's right.
Well,
the
I think-
best chef.
Oh, well, best chef, I don't know for sure, but the chef,
Yeah,
the
who-
Mafuzi
whichever way
chef,
you wanna take it, yeah.
obviously is Serge Ibaka.
Perfect.
There's documented evidence of him cooking, even if it is Bull's penis. So he is the chef of the NBA.
I love it. This question coming from a good friend of the pod, Matt.
Yeah.
You finished Space Jam yet?
Okay, look. Getting
There's
a lot of
follow-up,
flack
so answer quickly.
about this. So, no, I haven't, but I will, okay?
Okay, the follow-up is why not?
Yes, why not? Yeah.
Why not? That's true.
They knew you
it's
hadn't.
tough. I don't watch a ton of animated films anymore, and I feel like I missed the point in my age where it would have really meant something. So,
This guy-
but I will
okay.
finish it, and I will I'll have some. I'll tell you what. I'll try and get it done for next podcast, and I'll have some notes.
I feel like the
Ooh.
questions are going to keep coming, so you better. And, just a little bit of behind, like how the sausage is made here, folks. Matt watches Batman the Animated Series once a day in its entirety. So he watches.
Oh, you
all-
gotta watch Space Jam.
I mean, you
man.
picked
Yeah,
one.
man.
All right.
But okay, Ryan. Who is the NBA equivalent to The Rock, past or present?
Oh wow. Okay, that feels like that was made for me.
I think it was.
Um,
Good friend of yours asked the question.
Damn. Okay, The Rock, NBA equivalent. That is. Oh. Past or present? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know you want to get the perfect answer. But
I'm
we just
trying.
need-
I'm trying to think the perfect
answer.
answer. I'm like scrambling here, but ooh. Okay. You know what? Just based off of the sheer cockiness of being the GOAT and being who he is, I'm just gonna have to say Jordan.
Okay.
Like the confidence level of both men are pretty much through the roof. They don't think they could lose to anybody, so I'm gonna go Jordan.
I thought you were going to say Luke Longley for sure, but Jordan's a good choice too.
Right?
Anthony, who do you think is what do you think is Nurse's best lineup to close out games?
Oh, probably like the small ball lineup that is Scott, what is it? Lowry, Van Vliet. Oh, I don't want to. Oh God, I guess Gary Trent, the Pascal and Ochi. Is that too many? Yeah,
Confident closeout lineup here.
I'm not confident that there is a confident closeout lineup.
Okay, last question here. I want to make it an all play. Sorry, one before the all play. This one's for you, Matt.
Okay.
Should an enormous chandelier be installed in Scotiabank Arena in place of the current clock?
Oh my God. That sounds beautiful. Actually, I think that yes, there should be a giant one, maybe a Guinness World Record size one, and just a dim lit Scotiabank Arena for the season that we get to come back. I want it to be real bougie in there.
Okay,
Awesome.
great. And just a follow up to that, Matt. Classic crystal, modern aesthetic, no electricity, just hundreds of candles. What do you think?
Oh no, full on candles. Like that's
Okay.
a big part of the.
Great. And you know what? Just to bring it
Like
full
the-
circle, maybe I can just say Gary would wear his like Backstreet Boys Phantom mask.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're
For
gonna have
fun.
to really utilize that for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to get just one use out of a Phantom mask. It's a nightmare. Okay. Last question here. We're gonna make this a play, all play. Ryan, we'll start with you. Here's how we're gonna do it. We're each just gonna pick one guy and move on. So the question is, who's your all rookie team this year? So Ryan, I just want you to name one rookie that you are confident is in the top 5.
Oh, LaMelo Ball. 100%.
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Poor Anthony. Now it gets hard.
Curses. Okay, I get to just pick one guy. I'm going to Therese Halliburton.
Therese Halliburton, love that pick.
Yeah.
Maddie, what's up? Who's a rookie you think should be in there?
I'm gonna go with the second coming of Steph Curry, Malachi Flynn.
Wow, we got a homer in town, and I love it. Okay, you know what? I was gonna throw myself in here, but the math is better if Ryan and Anthony finish this off. So Ryan, what's up? Who's number 4 here? Who makes the cut? It's starting to get a little bit dicey, but I think there's a couple candidates.
Who else do we got here?
Number 1 pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The number 1 pick. I think.
Oh yeah, you know what? His interview skills are absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Anthony, why don't you finish it off for us here?
I'm going with Houston Rockets, Jayshawn Tate.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, I was gonna throw in Sadiq Bey, but I guess when
Sadiq
you're
Bey's
on,
good too.
I can never tell if that's fantasy, but I think we rocked it, guys. This was a very, very fun pod. Thank you for joining, and just shout out to everyone who's been listening, supporting. Please keep those like ratings, reviews, and likes, and whatever, any way that you support us coming. So yeah, it's mega appreciated. Ryan, let's go to you first. Where can people check you out? How can they follow your pod with you and Alan and Dexter and all the stuff you do?
Yeah, so at R.A. Henry pretty much everywhere on Twitter, Instagram. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm probably watching Mavs games. Big Brother fan, as some people have called me out for. And
wow, you almost just called yourself out for that.
I've called myself. It's my what do you call it?
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. And then old school pro wrestling fan. So anything pro wrestling you can hit me up for. But Below the Hardwood is my NBA podcast that I've been doing with the guys since 2012. Pandemic had made us move over to the podcast world, so we're about 30 episodes in. You can check us out everywhere. Yeah.
Sick. Well, thanks for joining the pod. Everyone who listens to this, definitely check out Below the Hardwood. I'm pretty sure you guys recently had Jay Skeets, didn't you?
Yeah, we had Jay Skeets a couple weeks back come on and talked Top Shot, and we had no interest in Top Shot until he came on there, and now me and Dexter, we bought our first packs a couple weeks ago. So
you're like, now
we're in.
Now I owe so much money to these crypto people. It's
pretty much. But Skeets was great for that, so definitely check them out too. Yeah.
Antony, what's up, man? You got I didn't realize you guys are share a wrestling bond. You got the wrestling pod, but I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. I'm very, very happy to hear some commonality in the wrestling fandom. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hall and Jokes. I'm trying to get a sparkling water sponsorship, so I've been posting myself drinking sparkling water.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That's just a personal goal of mine during this next wave of the pandemic. So you can see sparkling water guy Tony content on my Twitter, and of course, the wrestling podcast that I'm a co-host of is called Book It Vince, where we fantasy book dream matches, past, present, and future. And we would love to have you on, Ryan, if you.
I'm all over that. I am all over that. I don't know if you could see that poster in the background, but there's an Edge. It's kind of hard to see other than the San Andreas, but there's a John Cena, there's an Edge, and then there's a Taker. These have been amazing. Up in this room on this wall for like the past 15 years. So yeah,
it's beautiful.
And guys, I'm glad you're having fun, but I got to tell you, no networking on my pod. Okay.
I want to be a part of the NBA Top Shot purchasing conglomerate as well. I'm very much into that. Let's go to the moon together with all of our NFTs.
You guys at least need to take a walk.
And of course my Show Ming's Dynasty is streaming season 1 for free on CBC Gem and Fuse TV and Ficto in the United States. And that's it for me.
Sick. Well, thank you guys so much. This was really fun. Maddie, if you feel like we're done and we're good to go, please, sir, just give me those sweet words. Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.